Hello everybody, it's Wendy and I'm back with another bargain bead box project. But first, our encouraging word for today is you never know what light you might spark in others just through your kindness and your example. And Jennifer Rockwood said that, and that is very true. You may think nobody's watching you, but I guarantee you somebody is. Alright, so what we're going to need if you want to make this necklace with me today is I am using some 1mm leather. I have this one cut in about a 32-inch strand because I like my tassel type necklaces long, and that's what we're making. And then I have two smaller pieces cut approximately 6 inches in length here as well. So about 32 inches on this one, two pieces at 6 inches each on that one. We're using the key from the bargain bead box. We're using this ring. This is I think it's a 22mm. Yeah, about a 22mm ring. I'm using some of the Rolo chain from the box. I'm using this glass pendant. I'm using some of this green line jasper, the lighter pieces of it. I'm using a little bit of the howlite. I've got a couple of the English cut pieces, one of the regular rounds. I've got a couple of these pear-shaped crystals. And then I have an assortment of the green rondelles and the black, white, and gray rondelles. Not sure what all I'm going to use. This is kind of a design with me type project. And I have these two of these scroll looking beads and these two connectors. I do have a lot of the bead caps here. I have a lobster clasp and a ring for the lobster to clasp onto. I have gunmetal ball head pins. Excuse me. I have two of these fold and glue cord ends for leather. If you don't have these or you want these, they're available on my website. I have some gunmetal jump rings, some gunmetal eye pins, and a little bit of E6000 glue. Okay? And I think that's all you're going to need besides just your jewelry tools, but we'll get to the rest of it here in a minute if there's anything else that we need. So I'm going to put this pile back over here and we're going to work with our leather, okay? So I'm taking my main piece here, my big long piece, and I'm evening up the ends. And I'm just going to take it and we're going to make a lark's head knot through this ring. So I'm evening up the ends. Right down here where the center is, I put the ring on, and I'm just going through. So I put the ring right on both cords, see that? And then I'm just going through this loop, and when I pull it, it's going to make a lark's head knot, right, just like that. That's what we want. So then we're going to take our two pieces of leather here. We're going to put them through this little loop on the key. Bring it down about to the middle, like this, okay? And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take these two pieces and put them through the ring. I'm going to bring it down to where I have a little bit of room there. It's not totally up against that. And I'm going to take all four pieces and tie them in an overhand knot. Okay, so all four pieces. The ends don't have to be even on this. In fact, it's kind of cuter if they're not. Whoops. And I'm going right through, just tying an overhand knot. But I'm leaving a little bit of room there, so it's not up next to the ring. See that? I'm leaving about an inch. And then I'm just going to take the key, and I'm going to pull it down to where this kind of hangs in front of it. And it just hangs on our little ring like this, okay? And we've got these little dangly pieces. I saw that technique on Susan on Jewel School did it, and I thought it was super cute, so that's what I'm doing there. Okay, now I am going to take some of my beads. Let's see here. I want to use a couple of the larger hole beads, so maybe, let's see if the leather will fit through there. It sure will. So we're going to use one of these howlite beads, and I'm just going to tie a knot in the end of this leather. It can be a little fiddly, but you can do it. Okay, I'm just going to tie a knot right there in the end of it with this white howlite bead on here. Pull it tight, and then he's just going to dangle on there like that. Let's see, one of these guys would work on there too, or one of these little rondelles. I might put a couple, let's see, this little green rondelle will fit, and I wonder if the shiny pear bead will fit. It sure will. So I might, let's see, I don't know if I want to put two of those on that long one. Let's see. Let's put this little green rondelle and this pearl bead, or pear bead. I kind of like that, I think. I'm going to put that up here a little and tie the knot kind of up toward the middle. I know this is one of the shorter strands, but I'm trying to make them lay at varied levels. I don't want them all exactly the same. And it can be a little tricky getting the knot tied, especially if you are fine motor challenged like I am. But keep trying, it will work. Okay, there we go. So there's those two. That's super cute. I like it. And now what am I going to do on here? I kind of want to do one of the green ones on here too. But I don't want to do a whole big lot. Now these little teeny ones, they won't fit on this leather. Not one bit. They might if you would cut them at an angle. Cut the leather at an angle, but I don't know. Even that, I don't think they're going to go. They're tiny. So let's see here. Let's do, I don't really want to do my leaf on there. I want to hang my leaf probably from chain on here. Maybe. Yeah, because it's going to be weird looking if it's, I don't know though. Maybe I could tie it on. Actually, I was going to hang the leaf on. Or put the leaf, I was going to take the leaf and hang this in front of it. So yeah, I don't think I want to do that way because that's going to be weird. So let's see here. Don't really want to use, actually, I might just use this sparkly pear bead down here. That's pretty. Let's just do that. I'm going to tie that one on here kind of close to the bottom. Again, I'm just trying to make them hang kind of at varied levels. I'm going to scoot that knot down. There we go. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Now this one, I may just leave it. I don't know. Let's see here. What do I have? I know that there were some plain white beads, but they were big, big plain white beads. I don't really want to go so big. I think, you know what? I'm just going to leave that one by itself. Or if I had like a gunmetal bead, that would be kind of cool, but not these big ones. Okay, we'll come back to it maybe. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I really wanted to take this leaf and hang this in front of it and put a little dangle on there. So let's see what would make a cute little dangle on there. I'm going to use my ball head pin. We could do this little white guy on the end, and maybe that would be kind of cute, I think. Let's try that. So I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to make a wrapped loop with this ball head pin. Let me show you how to do that. You just take it and you bend this 90 degrees. You come up a little from the bead. You don't want to be right above the bead. If you are, it's going to not give you much room to wrap. Okay, so come up just a little bit from the bead. Let me see. There we go. Take your round nose pliers and go up and over the bead, just like that. Pull it tight. You don't want any gaps in there. Rotate your pliers up and then come under. And as you can see, that makes a nice little round loop. Now, if you want to insert this on right now, you can, if you want to wire wrap directly to this. And I think that's how I'm going to do it. And then you'll just take your pliers and you'll kind of grab that loop where it crosses over itself with the tail and just wrap around. Okay, just like that. And then when you've got it kind of going, you can grab it a little bit more securely here. And just keep wrapping. And I am going to grab my other pliers and try to wrap it all the way, because I want to use all this wire because I like the look of that wrapped loop on there. Okay, so I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit bulky. There we go. It's not going to be huge bulky because it's a little ball head pin, but still, I want it to show up there, the wrapped loop. All right, so there it is. It's wrapped right onto there. And now we're going to hang it in front of this leaf. And I'm just going to take a thin jump ring that's kind of big. So here I have probably a, say this is a 10mm jump ring. Whoops. And I'm just going to put this on it first and then the leaf on. Just like that. And there we have created a little dangle element that I really like better than just the leaf. I just do. The leaf was cute, but I don't know. And then I can either hang it directly from here. So let's see. If I hang the jump ring, well, I can't get a hold of this leaf. It's slippery. If I hang it right on there, it's just going to hang kind of like that. Which I kind of like that, actually. I like it being kind of up high here. Yeah, let's actually, I'm just going to take one more jump ring. So this is, let's see, this is probably a little 8mm jump ring here. And I'll hang it from that, I think. Now let me see if that's going to mess up the orientation of it, though. So I'm going to make it hang sideways. It is. So let me do a couple smaller jump rings then. I don't want it to hang sideways, obviously. Back off there now. Okay, so I've got this 8mm jump ring here. Let me see if I can find a couple 6s. That would be better. Do I not have any gunmetal 6mm? Yeah, here's one. Okay. I thought I did. Okay, so there's a couple 6mm jump rings. Let's see if I can, I don't even know, hopefully this 6mm will go around that loop there, but we'll see how this does. So close it up really good. Make sure you've got it closed really well, and I'm just going to see if this one will go around that metal ring. And you just about have to do that to make it hang correctly, otherwise it's going to hang sideways, and we don't want that. So if I have to put the 8mm jump ring back on, I will, but let's see if I can get it with this one. I really like to use smaller jump rings if I can. I don't know that the 6mm is going to do it. It might. Let me try. I'm shaky for some reason. I need to eat. I haven't eaten anything today. And it's like 4:30. But Chris is going to make hibachi, so I'm not going to eat now because then it would ruin the dinner. Okay. Oh yeah, that's pretty cute. Now is it hanging sideways? Why is it? Or is it just because it's next to the... With these tassels, honestly, they kind of just hang, you know, they don't have to be perfect. I may take it down one more just because, though. I think I will. I'm going to give it another jump ring. So let's open up this 6mm, and I may just put it on an 8mm, actually. Let's get this one off of here. I don't want it to hang right in front of the key, is my problem, and I don't want it to hang right behind the key. So let's put an 8mm jump ring on this 6mm jump ring, which will make it a little easier to hang anyway. And let's see. And again, that's going to make it hang sideways, so I'm going to have to put another one on, I think. But that's okay. Actually, it can take it. So I'm going to do another 6mm, and then we'll do our 8mm, and I think that'll make it a nice little chain and make it hang down a little bit farther and not be clashing with the key so much. Now, another thing you could do, if you want to make sure that these things are spaced out, and this seems a little weird to say it, but it looks really cute, I've done it before, is take a bunch of jump rings and hang them on this loop. So if you put like 8 or 10 jump rings in between the key, where the key's hanging, and this, it'll space it out and it gives it kind of a decorative element. I don't really want to do that on this one. I just kind of did that on that Art Deco necklace that I made. It's got that same kind of vibe, so I'd really rather not do it on this one too. But hopefully this will hang okay and we won't need to space anything out too much. Or I may put a bead in between there on just a jump ring or something like that, on just an eye pin or something. So let's look at it. So here's what we've got. And now I've got them hanging pretty much side by side. Whoops. And why does he keep flipping around to the back? This key's giving me issues, or this leaf is giving me issues. Yeah, it's really going to have to go down even just a little bit lower to not combat with the key. I could have just hung it on a piece of chain, but I think I like these jump rings better almost. It just gives it kind of a different look. So I am going to undo this 8mm jump ring that we just put on here and add a couple more 6mm jump rings and then put it back on here. So we'll see. So let's do, I'm just making my own chain basically. Let's do a couple 6mm jump rings. I'm going to do 3. And the reason for that is if I did 2 and then put this 8mm back on, it's going to be hanging the wrong way again. I need it to hang not to the side. So I'm going to do 3 6mm jump rings and then put the 8 back on, and we'll see if that makes it hang low enough. And I just dropped a bead in the floor. See if that makes it hang low enough to where it's not combating the key, which is what I don't want it to do. And these jump rings, they're literally jumping around here on my bead mat. The jump rings are jumping and they're really all over the place. Alright, so there's the 3. We're going to attach this guy to this one on the end here. And then we're going to put our 8mm on. And this should make it to where it hangs straight and it's long enough, I am thinking. If not, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to rage quit this project. So here we go. Let's hang him on here. Hopefully this will work. So you get to see a little of the struggles. I try to lay everything out beforehand and have an idea in my head, but it doesn't always work out like I want it to. Lots of times it doesn't, actually. Okay, that's better though. That hangs just a little bit lower. I kind of like it now. Yeah, it's cute. Alright, so I am going to put a bead right here in between. So I'm just going to take probably this guy, and I'm going to take a regular eye pin or head pin. I didn't tell you you needed head pins, regular ones. I'm sorry, I should have. I'm going to take a regular head pin and I'm going to put bead caps on him. So bead cap on the bottom, bead cap on the top. And we're going to hang him right in here, and he'll nestle in there perfectly, and he'll provide a space a little bit between those two. So I'm just going to make, do I want to do a wrapped loop on him? If I do, I'm not going to be able to hang him directly to the, I don't have very many. Here's a longer one. Let me try this jump ring, or this head pin for, we might use that one in something else here in just a second. Let me try this head pin. If the head of it's not too small, that will go through there. You have to watch that. It's not. Okay. So let's do this head pin, because I can do a wrapped loop with this one and wrap it directly onto this thing, which is kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead, bend it 90 degrees right here, up a little bit from my bead. Now my loop is going to have to be kind of big because that ring is kind of big. So I'm going to go about halfway up my pliers, make a loop, rotate this up and bring it under, and then I'm just going to slip this right on here between my leather piece, my leather dangle, and this leaf dangle that I just made. Just slip it right onto your ring, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab with my long needle nose pliers here. I'm going to grab this, kind of pull them together right there where they overlap. And then I'm going to take my other plier, I'm holding this firmly, need to hold it really firmly, and I'm just going to wrap. And I'm going to wrap down as far as I can toward the bead. And you have to hold on to it really tightly or it will come right out of your pliers. Okay, just like that. Now, do I want to, I'm just going to trim it. I'm not going to fool with trying to wrap that little bit because it gets really hard to wrap those little bits when you're when the jump rings are a little bit thicker, and it's a little bit thicker than the ball. I mean your head pins, when it's a little bit thicker than the ball head pin. Okay, let's look at it. So, there we go. It's cute. I do like it. I just love tassels. I love, you know, things that are layered and kind of hang in front of each other and just the tassel look. I really, really do. So I think this is turning out cute. There we go. All right, so I think I would like to add one of these guys on over here somewhere. Something could actually, it would be really cute to do this. Let me take a ball head pin, take one of these little guys, like this white one. Okay, and we're going to make a wrapped loop again. So come up a little from the bead, just about right here. Bend it 90 degrees. Now this time we're just going to wrap the whole loop right on here. We're not going to try to hook it onto anything yet. I'm going to use a jump ring. So just, you know, make your loop, grab it, and then wrap around. You can use your pliers if you need to. It gets a little hard to wrap or twist it up. I'm making a messy little wrap here. Going to trim it off. Tuck it in. It needs it. And then I'm going to use a tiny little head pin. So I've got these little, they're like 4mm head pin. Or, goodness, why do I keep calling the jump rings head pins? Jump ring. I've done that all day long. I think I did that in my class with Jesse James last night too. And then I'm just going to attach it right onto the key right here. Okay? So just take that little jump ring, hook it directly onto the key. Just make sure it's closed up real good so nothing falls out. Okay, and there it is. So let's look at that. That's cute hanging there. I love this kind of stuff. Just eclectic and, you know, boho kind of. Now with this key, or this jade, I keep wanting to call that jade too. This glass leaf piece, one thing we can do, if you don't want that to flop around a lot and it is kind of flopping all over the place, I don't want it to be so floppy. I'm going to take a little dab of my E6000. I'm just going to run it down that, like that, and lay this on top of it. And just kind of let this sit here and dry for a second. And that will make that hang. It will make that stick right there. If I can get it to lay on there. It will make it stick right there to where it's not just flopping all over the place. And that bead, let me lay this ruler under the bead. It needs to be a little higher to lay straight. Okay, so we're just going to let that lay there for a second and just secure it. Or you may want to do that at the end. That probably would have been smarter, but you could do it at the end and then you wouldn't have to worry about it while you were trying to finish creating this here, but I didn't do that. So let's just let it lay there for a second. Okay, so I've got some beads still here. Let's see what else I would like to do. I'd like to hang something up here kind of higher. I don't really want to use the howlite bead there. I may do a howlite bead in here and give that a little more distance. So let's do that. Let's take one of our, do I want to use a ball head pin or a regular head pin? Actually, let me see if I have another longer one that I can make a, actually I'm just going to do a regular head pin here. And I'm just going to use the round one. And I'm not going to put any jump ring or any bead caps on it. I'm going to put that little bead guy on there, and let's see if this little black bead will go on here. It will. Okay, we're going to do that. I'm just going to make a regular loop with it, so bend 90 degrees. cut it right, you know, about, I don't make very big loops when I'm doing these kind of loops, so I like them to be small. So I cut it right, you know, pretty close to the bead. And then I'm just going to roll this loop back. And then I'm going to take a small jump ring, or probably an 8mm jump ring, since, well, I know the 6 will fit on there, but I'm just going to use the 8 because it's easier. And I'm just going to hook this little bead to it, this little dangle here to it, and I'm just going to hang it right in here. And that'll give a little more space between the leaf dangle and the key, which is what I'm wanting. Now, of course, it goes without saying that you can do this however you want to do it, okay? If you don't want to do it this way, don't do it this way. There's a lady that commented the other day on one of my tassel necklaces, and she's like, yeah, I wouldn't have made it so long and used so many beads. I'm like, okay. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. But you do it however you want. That is just fine. We all design differently. It's just kind of funny. I don't think I would ever comment on somebody's video and tell them what I wouldn't do, or, you know, how I would do it differently, really. I mean, what's the point? All right. So there you have it. But, you know, some people like to do that, and it's fine. I don't take offense to it. I thought it was kind of funny, actually. All right. So let's get this guy in here somewhere. I really like him. I would like to kind of hang him down just a little bit, not a whole lot, and hang something from him. So I'm going to use a an eye pin for him. Let's see, what are we going to do? I would like to do maybe on the bottom one of these little gray beads, and then maybe a little green bead, and then him. Yeah, kind of like that. And then I'm just going to, let's actually put another small bead on top. Do I have another white one out here? I do up here. Let's put another little white one here on the top of this. It just makes it kind of look finished. I think with these wide beads, if you don't put something on top of them, they don't really look finished, I don't think. Okay, and then we're going to wrap. We're just going to make a wrapped loop. And this is going to have to be a small wrapped loop because I don't have a lot of wire left. But as long as you have enough wire to get around a couple of times, it's fine. Okay. And here you go. And we're going to tuck. We're going to hang this one here. I'm going to do another couple of beads in between. So we'll take this little guy here that I was going to use a minute ago. And we're just going to make him a wrapped loop as well, a small one. A very small wrapped loop. So just wrap around a couple of times just to secure it around the wire, mainly because we don't have much head pin left there. Trim it off. Tuck it. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to hang it up here, but I'm going to make another little link, I think, to hang it by. So let's do an eye pin right here. And what do I want to put up there? I'm going to put one of these little green beads just by itself on an eye pin and hang him from that. I'm just doing this so random, guys, and just varying... make a wrapped loop again, just varying the beads and, you know, trying to vary the colors a little bit and just make it to where it's very just eclectic. It doesn't have a whole lot of rhyme or reason. And you know what? I made that way too long. That is not going to work out. I don't have enough wire to wrap down that big space. What was I thinking? Let me do that again. Okay. So maybe I needed to do the green bead and then one more bead. Let's do the green bead and a black bead. That might make it better. Probably will. But yeah, I just want it to be it's kind of boho goth in a way. I mean, because it's all these dark colors. I almost feel like it's a little goth, but kind of boho at the same time. So I love that kind of stuff though. Unique, you know, not the mainstream all the time. I like this kind of different stuff, but I love the gunmetal in the box this month. I just thought the gunmetal, it's beautiful, and it does add a lot of a dark element to your jewelry. Like the necklace that I did with the succulent piece that had all the little dangles, I felt like I had to really even that out, the gunmetal out, or it would have overpowered it, you know. But this piece I really like in the gunmetal in too. But the other one I just had to kind of make sure that I evened out, you know, used some of the pink, the lighter in it, because I didn't want it to be too dark. But this one I'm liking the dark tones of it. It's pretty. So I'm just attaching that to my little piece there, and I'm just going to hang it with a small jump ring. Well, probably not a small one, because I keep forgetting I have this big thick ring up here. But we're just making a bunch of little beaded dangles. I like tassels to be full and pretty. You know, I don't like them to be, if you're going to make a tassel, you know, the point kind of is for it to be full and have a lot going on there. You want it to be, you know, interesting and full, I think. Now this little leather piece that's sticking out is screaming for me to put something on him. I'm just going to put one of these little green ones on and tie it up, because if I don't, he's really just kind of funny looking sticking out there at this point. So I'm going to do that, tie this up, and then we'll check out what else we've got. I've still got that piece that I need to hook on somewhere. Yeah, let's go ahead and just put that little green guy. That looks better. Okay. This guy just keeps flipping around to the back, and that's bothering me. Do I have him on backwards, or is he just really hanging weird? I don't know why he's doing that. Why he keeps flipping like this. I don't want him backwards. Did I hang him on backwards? I must have. Let's flip him around and see if it helps. Or he may just be going to be difficult. And if that's the case, we can actually attach him to the key with a jump ring that would make him hang exactly where we want him. So listen to me, dude. If you don't do what I'm telling you to do, I'm going to force you to hang correctly. There we go. Let's put him on. Back on. I may have had him backwards. Alright, let's see if that helps him. Yes, it does. So it was me. It wasn't his fault. It was me. Okay, so now we've got all these little dangles, and I want to use this guy still. So I'm going to make a small ball head pin dangle to put on the bottom. So we'll do this little black bead and this little gray bead. That'd be kind of cute on the bottom there. So just going to make a wrapped loop. Not going to attach this with a jump ring. I'm just going to attach it directly on. But that loop there on the bottom of the dangle does open up. So I don't really have to worry about putting this on before I wrap it, unless I just want to, and I don't. So I'm just going to do this. Just have a firm grip on your one that you're holding on the top. Made him a little wrapped loop. Going to snip that. Snip and tuck. Okay. And then I'm just going to attach it right on here. Just like that. Cute. Really cute. Alright, and then we need to put him on up here, so I'm going to grab a bigger jump ring. This is like a 10mm, just to give it some variance from the others. And just put it right on. Okay. I like it. I think it's looking really, really cute. I just love all the beads and the leather and the dangles and the tassels, and you know, I just think they're so cool. Tassels are awesome. Okay, I'm gonna fix that jump ring because I didn't get it closed up very good. I'm gonna make another little little wrapped, little tiny rondelle wrapped here, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do with it. So let's create a wrapped loop. Just like this. Going round and round, but not with our round nose pliers. It's better to hold it with your chain nose pliers. Get a much better grip that way. Okay, made a cute little wrap. And this guy, I am going to put right on this jump ring up here. Just hanging it right on like that. Okay. So very cute. Now we could add more if we wanted. I'd kind of like to take one more bigger bead and hook on up here using bead caps. So with that one, I'll probably need a bigger head pin. So I'm just going to take bead caps, this jasper bead, and a bead cap. I'm going to make a wrapped loop. I'm coming up a little bit so I can make my wraps down, and it needs to be a big loop because I'm going to hook it directly onto there. So I'm coming up on my pliers, coming around but not closing it up yet. Just going to put it right on this ring before I wrap it. Okay, got it right on the ring there. I'm going to grab it with my pliers on the point where the two wires cross over. And then I'm just going to take my other plier and start wrapping. And once you get a wrap around, you can kind of readjust your position there. It makes it a little easier. And this one doesn't have to have a whole lot of wraps if you don't want it to. I would like to get around about one more full wrap. It's kind of hard when you're putting it directly onto something though, and trying to wrap. There we go. Okay, trim it, tuck it, and there we have it. So I really do like this. I really, really do. I think that I'm just going to leave it now. I think that it's probably got enough on it. I mean, I could sit here and play with this all day and add and add and add, and really, you know, it would never get too full for me, I don't think. I just really like the tassel style. So but there we have it. So now we're going to work on our ends up here. And we've got these little fold and glue little guys. They have a little tooth in the end. If you can see, it's got kind of this little tooth that sticks out on either side. And so for a 1mm leather, it's going to work. And what I'll do is I will take it. It's actually kind of better if you hold it with your pliers. And then I'm just going to put the glue in here. I'm just trying to lay it down on the top and the bottom in these little channels. Then I'm going to take my piece of leather and I'm just going to lay it down in there in the glue. And then you can take your fingers and just squeeze it together as hard as you can get it to go. And then you may have to take your plier and squeeze a little bit. But the glue that's in there, when it dries, and these little teeth, when you press this together, if I can get it to hold still, there we go, are going to hold your leather in place. And then I'm going to kind of squeeze the sides in and squeeze it a little bit more on the front. Now, another thing that you can do if you don't think that that is secure, it will be when it dries, but another way that you could do it would be to double over your leather. Like if you think that you have, you know, it needs to be a bigger piece in there, you could double it over like this. So I'll just show you how to do that. It doesn't really matter. It looks the same when you're finished pretty much. So I can do that over here. So we're just going to take our glue again, fill both little channels with the glue. I'm pretty liberal with the glue. I want to make sure that it, you know, it gets in there really good. Take this, fold it in half, put it in there, and scoot it all the way up. And what you should have is leather that is not conforming to my wishes here. Okay, I've got glue on me now. Alright, so just stick it in there. One that lays in the top channel, one that lays in the bottom channel, and then you're going to close it, if you can get it to do that. Usually I can. There we go. And now close it down. And you want to shove it all the way up to where the loop of the leather comes up here, because you're going to need to be able to put a jump ring through it. So just go ahead, close this up, squeeze it tight. These little glue and folds really work better for like 2mm leather, but I do use them on this with this technique a lot, especially with the glue. And then I'm just going to squeeze it in a little bit more. It's not the best closure really for the 1mm leather, but I didn't have any more, I didn't have any crump lock ones that would fit this leather. So, gotta make do with what you got, right? And then I just kind of round this back out. These are really soft metal. They remind me of crimp bead covers, and you can kind of form them and shape them to make it fit. And I do that sometimes with these, but mostly on the ones that I'm keeping for myself or something. I don't really use these on the ones that I am selling or giving away, because I don't, you know, if it would come undone, I would not want that to happen. So I mainly use these on the ones that I'm keeping. But I've never had one come undone. They do work pretty good. It's just, it's not the cutest. But like I said, I don't have any other cord ends. I need to order some. So that's why I'm using these. Alright, and then I'm just going to take a big jump ring. So what I need to do here is I want to get this jump ring to go right through that loop of leather and the little glue and fold cord end. And it will, especially if it's thin. So I'm just going to shove it through there. It'll go through the little loop of leather and through the little cord end. I may need to let the glue dry a little bit. It's getting all over me. There we go. And see, that even further secures it on there, because now it's not going to go anywhere. It's got the jump ring going through it. I'm going to hook my lobster on here. And then on the other side, I'm going to hook a big one as well for my lobster to clasp onto. I like to use big jump rings for that. I don't know if that one will fit through there, but I have this big 12mm. Yeah, he'll fit through there, I think. Yes, he will. Okay. So there it is. Got our little closure. Like I said, I need to order some cord ends. I didn't want to use bright silver either, but that's all I have. So use what you got. And here is our final little necklace piece. So I think these are really, I love the tassels. It kind of is like a gothic Victorian vibe, I think, with all this gunmetal. I'm really kind of liking the gunmetal. I haven't used a lot of gunmetal. I don't have a lot of gunmetal, but I think it looks really pretty with this black, white, and green, and especially with the howlite in this box. It looks really good. It's a great contrast. So there it is. I will put it on a form and come right back and show it to you. Okay, so here it is on me. It's really hard to see with the shirt I have on today, but you can kind of see where it hangs. So that's how I like a tassel to hang. Obviously, I would not wear it with this shirt. I would wear it with something solid, and you would definitely be able to see it. But that's where it will hang if you make it the same length that I made it, which I'm 5'2", so you kind of have to measure with your height too. So, but there it is. Like I said, I do really like it. I like the way it turned out. And yeah, Bargain Bead Box has been fun this month. If you're interested in subscribing, I have a coupon code. It is Wendy2. That will get you $2 off your first month's box, or the first purchase you make in their sister store. You can do either one, but you can't use it for both things. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Bargain Bead Box. I gotta say, they're one of my favorites. Always have good stuff in the boxes, and I always make a lot of jewelry out of each one. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload tutorials, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.